What's going on, guys? Davis Hirsch here from Hirsch Power Garage. Welcome back to another video. As the title suggests, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to install the Z1 differential brace as well as the Z1 master cylinder brace. These two products are going to help stabilize the car and give you more confidence as a driver when you're on the track going full speed, as well as going to give you a better driving experience overall, even if you're not just pushing the car to the limit. The rear differential brace is going to help stiffen up the rear end of the car. It can help prevent wheel hop, and it'll just give you some more confidence towards the rear end of the car. Additionally, the master cylinder brace helps you when you're braking. If you're going full throttle, full force on the brake, the 370Z firewall is a little too weak from factory and it'll begin to flex. So it doesn't degrade your braking pressure, but if you are trying to get the most confident pedal feel and you can feel the pedal flexing as you're braking, that's totally gonna throw you off, and it's just not what you wanna have going on. Before we get started on the installation, I want to let you guys know this is going to be the first part of my series on how to prepare your car for track driving. While this will detail what needs to be done to my 370Z NISMO, this will apply to any of you, whether you're a 350Z, G35, D37, it's all going to be the general same information as far as basic maintenance, tires, brakes, fluids, all that stuff. So we'll have that detailed, and you can find a link to that playlist in the description below. Additionally, I want to give a big thank you to Z1 Motorsports for providing me with the parts for this video. It's kind of going to be your one-stop shop for anything you need Z related. So before we get started on the installation, I want you guys to double check to make sure that you're going to have everything you'll need to get this finished. So we're going to need a 19 mil, a 17 mil, and a 14 mil wrench, as well as some sockets for the rear differential in case you want those to make it a little bit easier on you. For the parts you'll need, this should come right in with your differential brace. This will be this one locking nut with a large washer behind it, as well as 3 more bolts that you'll need. Of course, the differential brace. And for the master cylinder brace, this is going to be pretty simple, not much hardware and not much needed. You're going to use a 5 mil Allen key. I just have the socket bit set right here. There's going to be these 3 little hardware pieces that we will thread right into here, and I'll show you how that threads into the car in just a couple minutes. I realized this after the fact while doing the master cylinder brace, but honestly, unless you're draining the whole brake fluid canister over there, I have no idea how you'd even do the install without using a flex bit. So I used a flex bit socket with a 5 mil hex key socket, and that's what allowed me to actually get in there. So if you're not doing this, and if you don't have one of the long magnetic extensions to get the bolts when you drop them, I wouldn't even recommend trying to do the job. So it's going to be a little hard for me to film due to the height limit of my jack stands, but as you can tell, we're underneath the car right now, and we're going to get the 14 mil and release this bolt here, as well as this one right down here, as this is where the new Z1 diff brace is going to bolt into. Additionally, if you're underneath here, there's no better time to go ahead and do some servicing for your car. So I will have a follow-up video on how to flush the differential fluid as well as all the other fluids for the car. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. As you can see here, I'm going to be loosening the bolt on the very bottom of the differential, and then I'm going to move to the one to the right of the fill plug in the center of the screen. We're going to get those 2 taken out, and those will be replaced with new Z1 bolts included in your kit. All right, so once you've got those 2 bolts removed, the next step is going to be the only tricky part, which is we're going to grab this nut here, and then we're going to get the 19 mil wrench I mentioned earlier, and we'll have to slide it through here and rotate it so that it comes out right there. And we're going to slide it in just like that. And this is where I'll have to put the camera down, but we're going to mount the diff brace in there and then thread the long bolt through there to essentially tighten it all together, and then we'll be able to move on to the 2 lower bolts that we just removed. As I mentioned, I wasn't able to film the installation of the top bolt, but that's going to be the 19 mil up top, and then the middle-sized bolt of the 3 is going to be the one that threads into the middle of the differential, and the long 80 mil bolt is going to be the one that goes to the very bottom threads. So an issue I've run into right now when trying to tighten the 19 mil for the diff brace is that this sensor right here, I assume it's a speed sensor, I'm honestly not too sure, is preventing me from getting a 19 mil socket on this end while I hold it with a 19 mil wrench on the other end. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is use a 1/4 inch with a short 12 to just release this temporarily to pull it out, and then I'll tighten this bolt, torque it down, and then I'll just put this sensor right back in. All right guys, so to get started with the master cylinder brace, we are gonna have to remove a bit of the engine bay trim. So we're gonna come over to the side, which of course has the master cylinder on it, and then we're gonna need to remove these 4 pop clips so that we can pop this off to give us more access to where we'll need to get the hardware from. So next up, to give us a bit more space, we're gonna undo these 2 electrical connections right here, this one and this one, which will allow us to maneuver our hands in there around the brake hard lines. And if needed, you can remove this vacuum line as well. Something I've noticed on my car that's different than everyone else who has a video on this is that those 3 black dots there are what you're gonna need to remove, but on my car, it seems like they're caps. On other people's cars, they're all stickers, kind of like this. So I'm not quite sure why that is. Regardless, I'm gonna get those removed, and then we'll be good to start threading in the new master cylinder brace. Okay, so as you can tell by this time lapse, and if you're doing this install, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is one of the, not really the hardest jobs I've ever done, but just for how as small of a part as you're installing, it is unbelievable how annoying and complex this is. So what I did right now, I have the top bolt threaded and the bottom bolt threaded. I am just barely, like you can see, I'm literally doing 1/4 turns with the Allen head. This is just unbelievable how difficult this is. I should have watched someone else's installation video before trying this myself, because I could have seen that, hey, I should probably buy a swivel head Allen bit, which would make this a lot easier, but I didn't, so here I am. So as you can see, that one is now about to be tight. I don't want to make it super tight. I'm gonna pull this out now. Because I still need to get the middle one. But what I did to get that one on there, this is the one tool I would recommend. If you don't have this, don't even try this job. Because if you drop a bolt, you're gonna need to be able to get it. So what I did to get that bolt threaded is I had it stuck like this. Obviously this is the socket, but I put the bolt on the side like this and then reached down in there, threaded it in the hole, and just, honestly, I'm pretty skinny, so I was able to get my arm in there, but gosh, this is so needlessly hard. So guys, I've tried and tried and tried to get a good visualization for y'all when installing this piece. But think about it, if I have the tripod here, I'm working right here, leaning over with my hands in here, I just have no good way to get my hands in there, get the tools in there, and have the camera get a good visualization. But like I said, once you get those 3 bolts secure, you're gonna go ahead and adjust this little gold nut right there to make sure it is contacting the master cylinder here, or the brake master cylinder, and that is gonna prevent your firewall from flexing under hard braking. And now we're gonna go ahead and take it for a short drive. Well, I've been taking the car for a drive. I'm realizing it's gonna be kind of hard for me to show you guys the effect that the master cylinder brace has on driving, or the diff brace effect on the minimal wheel hop. But I will say, after taking it out for about 15-20 minutes or so, ripping it around pretty hard, it is a noticeable difference. And I'm sure when I'm on track, or if I'm gonna be launching the car or anything like that, it'll be even better. But if you guys do have any questions, be sure to leave those in the description below. Okay, the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. And I also want to say another big thank you to Z1 Motorsports for sponsoring this video. If you need anything, they're going to be your one-stop shop for any Nissan Infiniti stuff. All right, guys, I hope y'all did enjoy today's video. If you do want to see more Z content, be sure to subscribe, as I've got hundreds of other 370Z videos, and we make content on the new Nissan Z and various other platforms. So if you want to see more of that, be sure to like and subscribe. See ya.